From cosmetics and undergarments, from sculptures to bull semen. The Associated Press reports that the U.S. exports to Iran have grown tenfold in the years since President Bush has occupied the White House. According to the AP, at least $158 million worth of exports in cigarettes alone. Exports from America grew even in the wake of Mr. Bush's declaration at the State of the Union address that Tehran was one of the pillars of the world's so-called axis of evil. So why have exports grown even as the administration has worked to isolate Iran from the international community? The answer is that US trade policy exempts agricultural commodities, medicine, and a few other categories of goods. Furthermore, the sanctions first imposed after the Islamic Revolution 3 decades ago have not been uniformly enforced. According to a US Treasury Department spokesman, sanctions are targeted against the regime and not the people of Iran. More surprisingly, perhaps although sanctions have been primarily intended to frustrate Iran's efforts to build its military, the AP found that at least $148,000 worth of unspecified weapons and other military gear were exported from the US to Iran, including more than $107,000 in military rifles and rifle parts. US authorities are now investigating whether the export of military items could be even more significant than this suggests. 2 men in the state of Florida were indicted recently on charges they shipped US military aircraft parts to Iran, including Tomcat and attack helicopter parts. The Associated Press, using the federal government's own data, concluded that Iran received about $640,000 worth of aircraft and aircraft parts during President Bush's 2 terms in office. The news service concluded that the US government seemed uncoordinated on efforts to limit trade with Iran. To date, administration efforts to pass laws that would strengthen enforcement of trade sanctions has been stalled in Congress. Exports to Iran are a politically sensitive but a tiny part of the trade that could result should diplomatic relations improve between the US and Iran. Of the exported products during the last 7 years, the number 1 category has been cigarettes. The number 2 category, behind tobacco products, includes vaccines, serums, and blood products. American businesses view Iran as an untapped market with great earning potential. 4,500 sought export licenses. If political tensions ease, millions of people in both the US and Iran could benefit.